Better, but just like looking right here. There you go. Nailed it.
Hiya, this is George Ezra, and you're watching me on the Adam Bomb Show.
Ooh, for you, ooh, I'd leave it all. Give me one good reason why I should never make a change.
Do you miss home when you're out traveling?
I don't know. It suits me to be on the move.
Does it really?
Yeah, it does. I just think I'm a believer that it's good to touch base for yourself, every so often, even if it's 2 days, just to remind yourself of,
right,
what's going on.
George Ezra's on the Adam Bomb Show across the USA, and we play your song Budapest, and it gets stuck in a lot of people's heads.
Good.
Does it get stuck in your head to the point of, oh my gosh?
Yeah, it does. One of my friends, we were driving to the airport before we went on holiday. We had a week off, and we were going to Barcelona, some of my friends from home, and we're driving along, and he said, George, do you get tired of singing Budapest? And I said, no, why? And he said, because I'm sick of hearing it. So the thing is, for me, I think I hear it differently to other people because it's become such a, we play it every night with the other songs, every other week.
When you're back home with your friends, and I wanted to touch on this, what kind of trouble do you get into, if any? Or what's a typical night with your friends?
Well, the thing, we're all kind of getting to an age where trouble isn't too common anymore. Just the pub, same pub. I used to work in the pub actually.
Oh yeah,
I go to
bartender.
Yeah, I was behind the bar.
Favorite drink you could make?
Oh no, it wasn't that kind. It was like an old man ale pub.
Oh
yeah, it was
well, beer ever.
Yeah, exactly. Have a beer.
That's great. George Ezra is on the Adam Bomb Show. Do you remember that first time you heard a song or you picked up a guitar and you said, "Man, I got to do this for the rest of my life"?
I remember the first time I listened to music, or the period of time, and music wasn't just something. Yeah, I must have been about 13, 14.
Okay.
14, and it was kind of when I started to listen to Dylan and Vaikuda and people like that, and music became something I loved.
Now, I don't know if this is true, because you can't believe everything on the internet, but it says on Wikipedia that you have an obsession with Bob Dylan. Is it accurate?
No, I think it was the first music I fell in love with, and I don't listen to Dylan that much anymore, not because I've gone off it, but just because I went through a phase where that's what I listened to.
Wow.
And what I do is, because I still buy CDs, so if you introduce me to somebody that's had however many records out, I'll always go out and buy their debut first, then their second record, as if they were releasing them,
Really?
Yeah, because it's that's how they develop kind of thing. So I did that with Dylan and got through to, the mid-70s or something, and I was like, you know what, there's more music out there. I need to,
there's a lot of it, right?
I need to wise up. Yeah, exactly.
What artists have you learned? I don't want to say you can't learn everything from somebody, but you've learned the most from that's out there that you maybe, I don't want to, you take a little bit of their stuff and kind of maybe rework it, or just a little advice from them.
I think when I got the band together, so it was the first time I had a band, and we got the guitarist, Dave, in, and it's the first time. David is a guitarist.
Okay.
I'm not a guitarist, and it's because when I started, all I wanted to do was I learned the chords I needed to sing, and it was all about lyric and storytelling and things like that. So Budapest is the same 3 chords I first learned. They're the same 3 chords my dad first taught me.
Wow.
Which I'm not ashamed of. I'm proud of that.
No, of course, yeah. Well, if you can make a hit song out of that,
yeah,
exactly.
That's
the secret. Are you a good storyteller, do you think?
I enjoy telling stories. I guess it's fun as well putting it into song when you can kind of, I don't know, beginning, middle, and end, and kind of. It's hard though because you have, say it's 3.5 minutes, and you need to get a story across.
And it's great because people's attention spans are like nothing anymore.
I know.
And if you can do that, are you shocked at? I don't want to say shocked because of all your talent and how well your album did in your home country, but are you shocked at how long it's been out and how much success it's had? It's almost been a year now since it's been out.
The nicest thing for me is that when it first got released, my album, I think it went to number 4 or something, and then it hasn't left the top 10 back home since it's been out.
That long?
Yeah, but the nicest thing is as well, it's been number 1 3 or so times, but the first time it went to number 1 was 14 weeks after it got released. So it means that people are sharing it and still, the fact that it means that people back home are still, I don't know, they must be sharing it. I don't know.
It's amazing, though, to be able to have that kind of
But it's
longevity.
lovely. It's really nice. I'll be honest, when I first released Budapest, my only worry was that it was going to be a song, because you don't know that we had this. It was the first single, whatever the first single was going to be. The only worry was,
Yeah.
what if it's just this song and then it falls off? But that's the nicest thing for me. It's kind of flattering to know the album's still about.
What is the difference between your fans, if any, back home compared to the States?
It's really hard for me to tell because I still haven't done a headline tour.
Okay.
So it's kind of, we did the Sam Smith tour.
Right.
And then we did the Hozier tour. We're on the Hozier tour now.
Right.
I've been there, both good.
That's
guys.
huge to be on those. Like, my gosh, George.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Do you know somebody?
Yeah. Well, me and Sam played a gig together about 3 or 4 years ago in the back of a pub in London for free.
What was that like? Wow.
It was probably, personally, one of the worst performances I gave in the last 3 years. I remember being really hacked off with myself afterwards. And James Bay played the same night. It was me, James Bay, and Sam Smith for free in this little back room.
In a pub?
Yeah.
That's like a story you never hear of, right?
Yeah, I know. So, that's how I knew him. And Hozier, the first time I met him was on this tour, and he's lovely. He's the coolest guy.
Man, how hard are you on yourself with what you do?
Not at all.
Really?
No, I just enjoy it because it's kind of, I consider myself lucky that I'm in this situation. And if I only ever get to release one album, I've had the best time, and that's, what it is. And I mean, I want to release more than one album.
Oh, of course. You don't want to just do one, George.
But what I'm saying is, you just have to, I don't know, be happy with, I'm lucky.
That's great advice, George. George Ezra is on the Adam Bomb Show. We appreciate you coming by, dude. We play Budapest a lot on the show across the nation, so we're glad to be in front of you. And to be very honest, I'm so glad that you just have this attitude like, yeah, I have fun. I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's great stuff.
I try and remind people, I don't take myself seriously, but I do take music seriously, of course. I'll put in a lot of energy and time into it, but you're away from home a lot, and if you're not enjoying it, then there's no point.
That's great stuff. Thanks for being on, George.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
Perfect.